Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to master and dominate with Ninetales in Pokemon Unite. I've used Ninetales quite a bit in Pokemon Unite, so I have a great understanding of Ninetales. We'll be going over the best builds, the best items, as well as other tips and tricks and playstyle strategies. Before we begin, real quick, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out a lot. Now, let's dive right into the video. So, Ninetales is a ranged attacker slash support hybrid type of Pokemon. I feel that it's best to use Ninetales at kind of like at a distance, and you want to stay around your teammates as much as possible to give them the support that they need. Because like most attackers, like their endurance isn't really the best. And I've discovered that there's two different types of builds that work really well with Ninetales. The Ice Fox build and the Fairy Fox build. So both these builds are really good. And the type of build that's right for you really just kind of depends on your play style. Do you want to play more support or do you want to play more DPS? The Ice Fox build is more for like dealing critical damage, while the Fairy Fox build is built more around support. We'll break down these builds more in depth later on in the video. So starting out early in the match, start leveling as soon as possible by attacking all the CPs, all the A-pawns. Just, give them a 1-2, buckle my shoe, and you know the drill. And yeah, so the reason why I farm as much experience as possible early on is so when the enemy team comes after me, I'll be able to take them on like no problem. So let's break down Ninetales' moves. So the passive move, Snow Warning, it's pretty awesome. Here's why. It can shoot from a good range, it slows down your opponent, and when you hit the opponent multiple times in a row, it actually freezes the opponent. It does a pretty decent damage, and you can make the move even more powerful when it's boosted. And we'll get into how Ninetales can boost moves here in a little bit. So the next early game move you can choose is called Icy Wind. And this move pairs up really well with your passive move Snow Warning, because it has an area of effect. And if you don't know what area of effect means, basically it means that instead of aiming at one enemy, it will affect all the enemies in a radius around you. And using the moves together is a really nice combo that can really help Ninetales do a lot of damage, which can really come in handy if there's multiple enemies around you. So the next move that we're going to look at, another move that you learn early on in the game, is called Powder Snow. And like most of Ninetales' moves, Powder Snow can also slow your enemies down. And it really comes in handy to prevent wild Pokemon from running into enemy territory, or if you need to escape from the enemy. So let's talk about mid-late game moves with the Ice build. So once you get into mid-game, the moves that you choose will decide the direction of the builds that you're going to go for. If you're going for the Ice Fox build, which is going to be more DPS focused, you're going to want to choose Avalanche. And Avalanche is a really interesting move. You can use this move to block off areas to prevent enemies from escaping. And what's nice about this is that you can adjust the location and direction of it so that you can strategically place it to give you and your teammates the upper hand in battle. What makes it even more interesting is that it can actually deal damage twice. When you first use it and when the ice wall melts and collapses, it will do damage around the enemies. And if you want a really strong offense combo, I recommend pairing Avalanche with Blizzard. And this goes back to the Ice build, the Ice Fox build. This is the other Ice move that you can learn later in the game. And just like Avalanche, Blizzard always does damage twice in battle. The first blast of Blizzard deals damage and decreases speed for a short period of time. The second Blizzard Blast actually shoves your enemies back while still doing damage if the enemy hits an obstacle on the point of impact. So basically, how I like to use Avalanche and Blizzard together in order to do tons of damage, I'll use Blizzard to push the entire enemy team away while still doing damage, and then I'll block off an alleyway with Avalanche so that they can't escape or be saved. And some things to keep in mind is that if you aren't paying attention, you could potentially use these moves in a way that it's counterproductive, like using Blizzard to push a Pokemon away that you're about to knock out, or using Avalanche that blocks your team from getting KOs or helping your teammates. It's just something to be mindful of while playing with this build. So now let's talk about mid-late game moves with the Fairy build. So one of the very first fairy moves that you're going to learn is Dazzling Gleam. It shoots out a beam of light that stuns your opponent. It looks pretty cool. And the reason why this move is more of a support move is because it does less damage than the other moves. But like I said, it stuns them so they cannot move, which is a really efficient move that can really help you and your teammates out. Next fairy move that you learn is Aurora Veil. And this is a really cool move. This move creates a small circle around you and your teammates. And while you guys are in this circle, your stats get boosted. And it boosts your basic attacks so that you can do more damage. It also reduces the damage that you take, which makes it more difficult for the enemy team to KO you. So here is the Dazzling Gleam and Aurora Veil strategy. How I like to use this combo to help my team dominate is that I'll just drop Aurora Veil right here around me and my teammates. And then I'll use my passive attacks inside the circle while attacking the other team. And while my team stats are being boosted, I'll attack the enemies with a Dazzling Gleam to prevent them from fighting, which helps us stay alive longer in battle. Now, Ninetales doesn't have the best Unite move, but that's okay, since the majority of Ninetales moves are really good. Ninetales' Unite move is called Snow Globe, and basically what this does is that it deals damage to all the enemies around the area, so it's most effective in group battles. However, the damage of this move isn't that much, and since the damage isn't that much, I recommend using it on Pokemon that are low HP to kind of finish them off, and make sure they're in a group too. Like I said, it's best to use this in group battles. There is a way to make this move more powerful though. If you use this move on frozen enemies, the move will become stronger and it will do more damage. Now, some of the items that work really well with Ninetales are Shell Bell, Special Attack Specs, Wise Glasses. Simply put, the reason why I like using these items with Ninetales is because Ninetales is an attacker, so these items will help Ninetales do more attack damage. And I really like these items. I run these items on a lot of the Pokemon that I use, especially my attackers. Now, the best battle item for Ninetales, in my opinion, is the eject button. I like using the eject button because it seems to really help Ninetales with surviving and getting out of uncomfortable situations. The enemies know how much of a beast Ninetales is, so they kind of prioritize Ninetales and they want to take out Ninetales first. So this really comes in handy to help Ninetales survive. There's some Pokemon that really complement Ninetales really well. I've noticed that Defender Pokemon types pair well with Ninetales because, Ninetales is a ranged attacker support type, and it can be a real pain if a melee Pokemon tries to come up on Ninetales, so a Defender Pokemon can easily help out with that. Pokemon like Snorlax and Crustle can pretty much be a shield for Ninetales. Another good teammate that goes really well with Ninetales is Charizard. Now, Charizard won't be a good shield for Ninetales because Charizard's endurance is low, but Charizard does do insane amounts of damage, which can be really effective while Ninetales freezes the enemy. And then Charizard just comes in, Fire Blast, and they feel the wrath of Charizard, and, it's pretty cool. If you want to learn more about Charizard and how to win with Charizard, then you can check out my Pokemon Unite Charizard guide right over here. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's pretty much it. Peace.